John, take us through the numbers for this light heavyweight confrontation.
And really, I'm taking a look at this as far as the height, because 6'3" for Anglickas. He is a good wrestler, but Yagshimuradov does have good takedowns, and being at 5'11", dropping levels is going to be a little bit easier for him. We'll see if that gets it done.
With the official introductions, here's Michael C. Williams.
We welcome all those tonight joining us across the UK live on BBC iPlayer as we get set here at Bellator 292 to move to 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'11", weighing in 205.8 pounds. His professional record, 19 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw. Fighting out of Turkmenistan, presenting Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 6'3", weighing in 205.8 pounds, the former light heavyweight title challenger as a professional enters with 10 wins, 3 defeats by way of Lithuania. He fights out of St. Louis, Missouri, Julius Anglickas. And the referee in charge, Jonathan Romero.
Set for this light heavyweight matchup, Bellator 292 prelims, Julius Anglickas with 3 first-round finishes, 2 knockouts and a submission. Conversely, Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov with 10 first-round finishes, 8 knockouts and 2 submissions, and immediately they touch gloves, and now will look to touch each other in more violent fashion. Early calf kick to the outside of the lead leg by Yagshimuradov.
You're going to see a lot of variety of kicks from Yagshimuradov. He loves the spinning attacks. He'll go after Anglickas on all levels.
Second punishing calf kick to the lead leg of Anglickas early by Yagshimuradov.
You can already see the mark on that leg based upon it. You can only eat so many of those before they'll have a major effect. Logan Storley in the last fight against Amazov, right away, that low calf kick made a difference in that fight.
Anglickas landed one of his own, but there's the third one by Yagshimuradov. Good counter right hand upstairs by Anglickas.
If you're gonna eat that, you've got to make him pay.
And Yagshimuradov trying to take some steam off of those shots from the longer, lankier Anglickas, and there was an overhand right that just missed for Yagshimuradov. Almost fainting with the jab, looking to change levels, threatening, maybe trying to get him to bite, John.
Yeah, you'll see Yagshimuradov he's got a very in and out bouncy attack, and he loves to throw a looping right hand over the top, and he'll always be bringing his head off to the left when he does that. So we'll see if Anglickas can read that and set him up for a counter.
It's a cavalcade of calf kicks for Yagshimuradov. Early lands a stiff 1-2 through the guard of Anglickas. Yagshimuradov, who Dan Lambert at American Top Team, spinning back fist by Yagshimuradov. He told us we haven't seen the best of Yagshimuradov yet. Hey, John, early signs are we could be seeing the best of Yagshimuradov here tonight.
Well, you can see that right now he's comfortable. He's having fun. He's out there just letting the fight flow, and he's making things happen. He's just not waiting and letting Anglickas determine when those engagements occur.
And Anglickas moving forward, light on his feet, high guard, wants to use the long limbs, trying to find a way to navigate his way inside. Number 5 ranked light heavyweight, another 1-2 to the face by Yagshimuradov, John. He's finding the timing now.
And that left hand stung him. You can see him take the step back, he got stung again.
Textbook 1-2 splitting the guard of Anglickas. The timing, the rhythm, all Yagshimuradov.
And the accuracy right now, he's on point.
Yep, surgical precision midway through the opening round.
Let's see, one of the things to notice, look at Anglickas. He's giving some motion with his head and everything, but he's got to use his feet to move.
Linear.
Exactly.
Right.
Stop the linear attack, start getting lateral movement to cut angles.
What about the speed we're seeing out of the hands of Yagshimuradov? A beautifully delivered 3-punch combination with nothing but confidence and precision.
And this is what's giving right now Julius Anglickas problems, is the speed of those shots. Take a look, 20 of 32 by Yagshimuradov at 63%. Fantastic.
Unbelievable, and the numbers don't always tell the story, but
No, they do in this
They
right
do
now.
definitely at this juncture of the fight as Anglickas moving forward again, unable to get on track as Yagshimuradov effective in the counter and goes again, John. Repeated attacks to that lead leg, which are only going to pay dividends as this fight unfolds.
It's putting money in the bank, and it's going to make it where Julius doesn't have that base to really launch heavy blows.
There's a naked entry by Yagshimuradov, shucked off by Anglickas.
And Julius decides to go to that wrestling attack. The damage on that leg is going to slow that shot down.
Lead left hook by Yagshimuradov.
Oh!
Right uppercut, checking the job, Anglickas. Hey, Anglickas wore it well. That jab popped his head back, but what a thudding uppercut by Yagshimuradov. Shades of Goichi Yamauchi against Naaman Gracie in his last fight. And in many ways, you know, Yagshimuradov looking to build his momentum. And by the way, Yamauchi will take on Michael Venom Page in what is a mouth-watering matchup to kick off the main card on Showtime at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Fantastic, beautiful spinning attack, wheel kick.
He's having fun, John,
Oh,
at the expense of Julius Anglickas. 30 seconds left in the opening round.
And notice right now, you saw it. Oh, beautiful.
Amplitude takedown by Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov. He just punctuated this round with a explosive exclamation point.
That's what we call amplitude. Elevating that man and bringing him down with power. That does not feel good when you hit the ground.
Hey, Dan Lambert's not a liar, that's for sure.
Never has been. I'm seeing movement of the shoulders and head by Julius, but it's a linear attack. He's coming straight at Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov, and he's got to use angles. He's got to create that angle that takes the power away from Yagshimuradov and puts him in a position to land his shot.
Anglickas wrestled 2 years at Brockport, NCAA Division III. Might want to try to attempt to do something to mute the attack of Yagshimuradov, who's been dynamic with some spinning attacks, has been surgically precise and very effective with the counterattack.
No doubt about it. This is the best we've ever seen him.
Amen. And for Anglickas, adjustments he needs to make in this second stanza, John.
Like I said, he's really got to use his footwork. Set yourself up just like that. You saw the angle he created as Yagshimuradov stepped off. He stepped forward. That gave him the opportunity to land that right hand.
More aggressive Anglickas.
And you can hear on Glicks's corner saying, use your feet, use your legs. That's what's going to get you in place. It's not the leaning of your body.
Representing St. Charles MMA out of St. Charles, Missouri by way of Lithuania, head coaches Mike Rogers and Anglickas moving forward. And a better start for the Lithuanian fighter against the Wolfhound from Turkmenistan. Oh, nice counter there by Yagshimuradov.
Much better start by Anglickas here. He's doing it, and you see, he's bringing the kicks in.
Dutch combination.
And all that backwards movement, that can wear Yagshimuradov off. So at the end of the first round, we saw Yagshimuradov going forward. He needs to start to do that again.
And you wonder the pace that Yagshimuradov fought in that first round, if it didn't tax the tank a bit, because Anglickas becoming a little more accurate in finding the mark, and Yagshimuradov not as fluid.
A little bit more flat-footed. Not quite up on his toes the same way.
And there it's Anglickas now chopping down the lead leg of Yagshimuradov with those low kicks, and Yagshimuradov going to the uppercut well again.
Just missed that uppercut.
Oh, and telegraphing a spinning attack.
Anglickas is doing a very nice job of now incorporating the kicks to the leg here.
Sharp jab, a confident jab from Yagshimuradov, and continues to target and score as Anglickas and John McCarthy's talked about. A nice kick that was checked by Yagshimuradov. Anglickas goes back straight.
Yes, and you've got to be circling out of that. Oh,
that's
nice
how what happens.
You cannot go back fast enough. They're going to only put you in a bad position against the cage. You got to circle out of that.
Anglickas with a much better job offensively, but yet Yagshimuradov continues to pop the jab. Our featherweight champion, Chris Cyborg, making sure Cyborg Nation knows about that loaded lightweight World Grand Prix that begins tonight with 2 quarterfinal matchups on the main card of Bellator 292, including Usman Nurmagomedov, the newly crowned champion, defending against one of the most decorated fighters in lightweight history, Benson Henderson. But right now, Anglickas turning the tables in the second round.
Yeah, right now, Anglickas is ahead in this, but you're starting to see Yagshimuradov land some shots. It's starting to turn just a little bit.
And yet Anglickas also discovering the use of his jab, looking to take advantage of the reach. But you're right, now in the minute and a half remaining in the round, there Yagshimuradov again, right uppercut, good counter by Anglickas with the straight right.
I'd love to see Yagshimuradov go to the body because you're seeing the hands come up really high by Anglickas. The body's open, both kicks and punches.
Terrific light heavyweight scrap. John, when you and I discussed this fight, we agreed that it would be entertaining, competitive. Yagshimuradov looking to crash the top 10 rankings, while Anglickas at number 5 would love to find a way to challenge for the title and make it a successful challenge the second time around.
Yeah, you're taking a look, and there's that top spacing. So many good ones. Corey Anderson, Phil Davis, guys that are just at the top of the food chain. He's got to get past those guys if he wins this fight. But this right now is a very close matchup.
And Anglickas stops the takedown. The one area, Yagshimuradov, naked entries with a takedown.
Absolutely. He's not setting him up, not using his hands to set the takedown up.
Again,
naked entry, exactly. Just what you're talking about, but he gets it.
Deposited Anglickas onto the canvas with only 10 seconds now left in the second.
His elbow.
Hammer fist, ground and pound. So Yagshimuradov coming on at the end of the round. Julius Anglickas looking to snap a 2-fight losing streak. Well, Yagshimuradov would love to make it 2 in a row. Third and final round. And Big John McCarthy, how does your unofficial scorecard read heading into what I believe is a pivotal frame?
I think this is a pivotal frame. You take a look, and that was a nice ending by Yagshimuradov, but I think Anglickas did enough in landing some of those kicks and the punches in the round. Both guys need to go after it in this third round.
And it's the jab, the steady diet of jabs. Oh, a solid lead right hand that tagged the beard of Yagshimuradov from Anglickas. The footwork on display.
Sneaky little right hand over the top.
Oh, nice left hook to the body by Yagshimuradov, and then the jab upstairs by Anglickas.
When you see that Anglickas put those hands up so high, the body's open, go for it.
Their takedown techniques, both not at the level they wanted to be there. Even Anglickas just, again, telegraphing it from long distance, not setting it up.
Basically trying to overrun Yagshimuradov with that takedown attempt.
And the jab of Yagshimuradov now coming from the hip. Has to be careful of the counter, and of course, Anglickas' corner calling for that counter.
Slick little uppercut there, almost connected.
And Yagshimuradov's corner.
Yagshimuradov
Point him not to circle the way into the power alley, of course, which he's not doing.
Yagshimuradov needs to just start to live off of that jab. Anglickas, based upon where his hand's at, doesn't see the jab coming up. And it doesn't have to hit with power. That's Artem Levin in the corner there. That is a kickboxing masterpiece of a fighter. He's the coach of Yagshimuradov now. And man, you talk about one of the best to ever do it in kickboxing.
Had the pleasure of calling many of his kickboxing fights, and you're right about that. And again, always mention another Bellator alum, Joe Schilling. He and Artem Levin had a great fight in Los Angeles, and Yagshimuradov building on that jab, but it's a single shot, John, not following up anymore.
You're right, he does need to, at times, you got to throw those combinations. Make him react to it, throw your right hand, throw the hook to the body. It's got to be more than the one. There
again, the combination of that stiff jab, right uppercut, now midway point of the third. Overhand right lands for Yagshimuradov.
Put this kid away. Let's go.
When do you want, there you, on cue, I was just going to say, when do you want to see the sense of urgency?
Oh, nice combination right there, and that landed clean.
2 minutes, Julius.
Yagshimuradov looking good right now.
And Anglickas has to get on track. He has to put that proverbial pedal to the metal. Just over 2 minutes left in the fight. Now the Dutch triple jab from Anglickas gets countered with the right hand from Yagshimuradov, who resets.
And it's the same thing for Anglickas. He's doing a good job of marching him down, but you've got to throw more than just that single jab. You've got to throw combinations.
Jab, hook cross. Jab, hook cross.
And it's 2-1 in terms of total strikes landed for Yagshimuradov, a 2-1 clip. Just being that much busier, that much more effective, that much more diverse.
Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Push through it. Push through it. 3-2 hard.
Watch that uppercut hook. 3-2, hard. Oh, little showmanship from Yagshimuradov, popping off the jab. And again, that takedown, looking for the single.
He's got this.
And had another takedown scored here.
And he has some time. Take a look at the time right now. Over a minute left in this round. And Yagshimuradov has shown that he was able to do good work on the ground.
And Yagshimuradov has now secured a takedown in each round. He's 3 for 6. And in the final minute, hoping to make the most of this dominant position.
Anglickas needs to really get himself back to his feet or look for the reversal here, because he has not done well as far as stopping
And
the ground and pound attack.
A cut now on the face of
Beautiful elbow.
Julius Anglickas. Half minute remaining in the fight. Slashing elbow strikes from in close by Yagshimuradov, doing the desired damage. 20 seconds left in the fight. Is Julius Anglickas headed for a career-high 3-fight losing streak?
I would tell you yes.
Yagshimuradov hoping to go to 2-2 in Bellator, and from this vantage point, and we will find out what Mr. Lieben and the other judges thought about this fight. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 non-stop rounds of action, we go to your judges at cage side. Derek Cleary, Wade Vieira, Chris Lieben. I'll have it exactly the same at 30-27. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov.
The founder of American Top Team, Dan Lambert, said Yagshimuradov is someone who is explosive with a lot of power. We had not seen the best of him. Well, the Turkmenistan terror, he gave Julius Anglickas his best, and it was enough to pick up an important win. Let's go to Big John McCarthy.
I'm here with your winner, Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov. That was a beautiful performance. Your stand-up was clean. You hit the leg kicks, the beautiful uppercuts. How's he feeling?
Отлично выступили, у вас хорошая комбинация была, удары ногой, рукой. Как вы себя чувствуете?
Себя чувствую хорошо. I am good feel. Hard fight. Maybe good opponent fight, normal rating. Thank you, my coach. Thank you, Artyom, my brother Marshall, my big coach, Mike Brown, Steve Mokka, wrestling coach. American Top Team, Dan Lambert, Richie Prima. Thank you. Good team.
Your wrestling was one of the things that separated you in this fight. You landed some clean shots, but every time you took him down, and sometimes you took him down with what we call amplitude. You brought him up and brought him down hard. How good is your wrestling been since you started training with guys like Steve Moko?
У вас хороший рестлинг был, помимо этого еще подняли его, завалили, то есть вообще очень замечательно. Вообще вы чувствуете, что у вас борьба улучшается со временем?
Yes, of course. Первых, вторых боях я просто не так уж и сильно готовился, но в этот бой я именно подготовился хорошо. Аж 70 дней в American Top Team усиленная работа. По борьбе, конечно же, тренера мои лучшие, Стив Мокко, все время Макраунд. Мы все тактики ставили на 3 раунда вот так. Работать, забарывать, забивать и доминировать как бы, да, движение. Потому что мы видели соперника, что он как бы ударник хороший, но базовый рестлер. Ну, пришлось кинуть себе вызов и с борцом побороться и ударки тоже.
Yeah, the first 2 fights maybe I didn't prepare as much, but this time with the American top team I spent like good 70 days. There was great work with training on wrestling. We knew that he's a great striker, so obviously wrestling was going to be a part of it, and I think overall it played out pretty well.
Well, 2 wins in a row. Congratulations on a fantastic performance. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov.